Alright guys, what's going on? My PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my From fans, my Taylor Sheridan show fans, my college basketball fans, Game of Thrones, whatever guys. I'm One Eyebrow, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about all those topics and more on this today's live stream of March 22nd, 2026. So what's going on? Wait for people to join. I was a little early, but got everything rocking and rolling, and today is March 22nd. So if you're a From fan, you know that it is less than 1 month away from season 4 of From, which premieres on Sunday, April 19th, 2026 on MGM Plus. So I started watching A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We're starting episode 5 today, or whatever we watch it again. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Madison. We'll talk about Marshals. I'm excited for The Boys in a couple weeks. I'm excited for Daredevil Reborn season 2. It's just a lot of stuff coming out. There was a little lull there for a little bit, but there's just so much content and stuff to watch, like Paradise on Hulu. That's a really good show if you haven't watched that. Daredevil Reborn on Disney Plus starts this Tuesday with the first 2 episodes. And I haven't really talked much about Spider-Man Brand New Day, but that trailer came out this week and people are really excited for it, and it looks awesome. And it's definitely got a lot of people talking. I'm kind of excited about it too, especially with the Punisher, Bruce Banner, the Hulk. A lot of people are thinking the X-Men could be shown there. That could be the movie that connects the dots with one of the aspects of the X-Men, but we'll see how that plays out. And a lot of people are talking about it, which is good. Also, House of the Dragon season 3, and probably a bunch of stuff I'm missing. But what's up, Negan? So it's, like I said, March 22nd, 2026. It is the last day of the first week of March Madness. If you are caring about college basketball, I'm a Duke fan, and they have survived the first 2 games, and they're moving on to next week to play the winner of Kansas versus St. John's, and we'll have to see what happens there. I have Duke to win it all, and after these first 2 games, I'm not sure, but we'll have to see. They've won. They've had enough to win both games, and it'll be a good test. So we're doing pretty well in that, if you like college basketball or not. And let me know, who are you rooting for? Who do you got winning it all in the live chat? And also the comments. I check YouTube pretty much every day, and I see what comments are there, so it's always kind of good to check that. Also, big news in the world of martial arts, 80s action. Chuck Norris died. I think it was Friday that he was announced that he passed away. And 2026, someone had a picture of all the people that have died in 2026 already, and it's only the 3rd month of the year. So we're around that time of big actors, big celebrities, big time people, eventually going to be dying. But it just seems like so much is going on right now in the first 3 months that it's crazy. Hopefully you're doing something fun for spring break, or I don't know. But I don't have a spring break, so I don't care about that. I have a cruise coming up in a couple months. I'm excited for that. I'm trying to avoid vacation when a bunch of people are on vacationing too. I'm trying to find the deals that happen with stuff too, and some good deals that are going on. I just saw a thing on Facebook that you can get Paramount Plus for $2.99 a month for 2 months, and that's pretty good. I think that's a good way to try something out. And of course, I like Black Friday deals. That's always a good thing for shopping, because you can get, and they're usually like that for streaming services. They are like a couple months as well. Negan says, yeah, I had to watch a couple of Chuck's movies yesterday. My favorite, Lone Wolf McQuaid, is my favorite. So, yeah, I mean, Chuck Norris, for a lot of people, is just about the memes of Chuck Norris. Like, it says Chuck Norris didn't die, he took death's job. Like, he killed death and took his job, or whatever one of the memes has. And, you know, he was going to be on Mount Rushmore, but they couldn't carve his face into it. So, like, I don't know. Like, so it was just kind of crazy, all the different things. And, you know, he'll live on as those memes, but it's sad. And eventually, Stallone's going to pass away, and Schwarzenegger, and Jean-Claude Van Damme, and you know, The Rock, and everybody, but not, hopefully not for a while. Like, hopefully, like, it's crazy to see that people are still making movies. Like, Sly is still involved with Tulsa King, and Arnold, I believe, I just saw a thing where he's rumored to play Conan the Conqueror or something, and it's probably going to be like he's the king of whatever, and there's going to probably be a younger person to take over that role, obviously. But I kind of like the idea of having people pass the torch. And I've asked before in other live streams, like, who is the next action person? Who is the next movie star? Who is the big movie star for what it is? And when I think movie stars, I think Tom Cruise. You know, I think, what's up, Big Tree? And I think of, you know, George Clooney and Brad Pitt and all these people too. But let's talk about action stars. Like, who are the next people to come up and do it? Because some of the biggest action people now are older. Like Jason Statham. Like Keanu Reeves. Like The Rock. Like all these people that are older. I don't know of any younger martial arts artists that are doing that too. And like, who's the next Stallone? Who's the next Schwarzenegger? Who's the next whatever? And I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know if they're ever going to be replaced, because that's going to be a crazy day. And, you know, Chuck Norris died at 86 years old. And I believe Stallone and Schwarzenegger are around the same age, and they may be like 77 or so. So if they have, like, let's say 10 years left, I don't know how well they're going to be doing stuff. I don't know how, you know, involved they're going to be. But now we have Rocky and you have Creed. And Michael B. Jordan can do kind of whatever he wants. So maybe he's a big time actor. And he won the Oscar for Sinners, which was an okay movie. I didn't think it was that great. And one battle after another won a bunch of awards. And Sean Penn was probably the best performance in that movie, so I'm glad he won an award. But the movie's just not that good. Like, it's just, I didn't see the other ones besides Sinners. And it's an okay movie, but I don't know if it was just slim pickings or whatever. So this year, 2026, we have a lot of big movies coming out, and hopefully they're all really good. With Spider-Man and Dune and Avengers Doomsday and Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. And I'm missing on Masters of the Universe. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of big movies, but we'll have to see, you know, how it goes down. But as for Taylor Sheridan shows, if you care about the Madison, I don't know, but the Madison was, or is, season 1 of, it's actually written by Taylor Sheridan, so it has that Sheridan feel. It has nothing to do with Yellowstone, so you don't have to watch Yellowstone if you watch that, because it's not connected with the Yellowstone or the Duttons or anybody there. It's its own story with Michelle Pfeiffer, Kurt Russell, you know, Matthew Fox, and then a bunch of other people. Kevin Zegers is in there too. He's the neighbor in Montana, and it's kind of funny because he was in a bunch of stuff, and then he was in Fear the Walking Dead. But, you know, it's always kind of cool. So I told you a show that also my wife and I are watching on Netflix. It's called The Red Road, and it was a Skydance TV show that was 2 seasons. We're on the 2nd season, and it stars, I don't know the main guy's name, but Jason Momoa is in it. The guy from Dark Winds, a couple people from there too. But I looked it up, and I'm like, it's supposed to take place in New Jersey is the story. But if you know anything, they film a lot in Georgia or Louisiana or places, and they call it somewhere else. And hey, Carol. And that's filmed in Georgia. So, and then we saw yesterday's episode that we watched. they're because it's about like Native Americans that have this land and the people that are not Native Americans, and there's a conflict that goes on there, and there's just a whole big story behind it. I don't want to give anything away, but it's filmed in Georgia, and I was like, this feels like Georgia. It just looks like Georgia, the woods and whatever. And I looked it up, and it's filmed in Georgia, and a Walking Dead alum is in it, and I was like, this was probably, I don't even know when the show came on, but it was probably after The Walking Dead. You probably still live in and around the area, and it's Jerry, Cooper Andrews. So it's cool to say, hey, it's Jerry, hey, it's so and so, hey, it's whatever. When you get to see certain people, like, it's always going to be, oh, that's Rick, hey, that's Carol or Daryl or whatever too. And it's John Bernthal. I said it before. I said, like, who's the biggest alum who I said the best, career after The Walking Dead, and I still think John Bernthal is up there. If not the best, he's right up there in top 3. Because I looked at it too, like, he's in Wolf of Wall Street and Fury, and the Punisher by himself. Playing Punisher is a big enough role. He's in his own show, connected with Daredevil, and his own show here. He's going to have his own 1 hour, thing on Disney Plus. Plus now they're bringing it to Spider-Man Brand New Day, and so it's just pretty huge. He's been on all these things, and it's pretty cool to see. He's in Sicario. He's in a bunch of different things as well, and it's just kind of cool to see the Walking Dead family represented in other stuff, and that's kind of the thread that connects us too. So, but yeah. So how are you guys doing? And what other shows are you watching on there too? And so now we're in the Paradise mode of we're watching Paradise every. Is it? I think we watch it every Tuesday because it comes out Monday, so we watch it Tuesday. We always watch things like a day later, kind of a thing. Haven't started The Pit yet. We started Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and it's pretty good. It's we're 4 episodes in. There's 6 episodes, but it kind of feels like it's a bunch of stuff and nothing really happens in there. We're still waiting for more action, more craziness, more stuff, but it has callbacks to previous families and areas in Game of Thrones, and it kind of connects the dots, which is kind of cool too. So, yeah, all right, Tim says late getting here, still dealing with water. So, yeah, well, I appreciate you stopping in. If you guys have to go or whatever, that's no big deal. We're just here to keep it friendly and discuss things and have it there as well. So, you're my Taylor Sheridan fans, so you want to talk about the Madison or Marshals or anything else, it's put it in the chat. Always welcome to as well. So yeah, I mean, it's getting towards the end of March. This is the last full week of March, and then we'll be into April. And it's one of those things where I was talking to my dad the other day, and he was like, "This year is flying by," and I'm like, "It's the same amount of time every day." That's why you got to keep busy. Have projects, do certain things, move on to the next project, next problem. That's what I feel like life is about, problem solving, one thing after another. And I've been doing stuff around the house. I have people coming for the roof tomorrow to give me an estimate. I'm trying to get a couple repairs tomorrow or upcoming first to kind of get the longer life and get the roof replacement next year, because if we can extend it a little bit longer, because the way I see it is when you do something, it's a countdown to the next time you have to do it, and roofs are probably good for especially like an asphalt shingle roof. So the shingle roof is probably good for like 15 years, maybe 20 at the most if you prolong it. And I feel like the house I bought was, 2011. So 15 years ago is when I bought the house at the end of the summer. And so I believe they put on a roof around that time as well. So it's about that time. So if we can just prolong it a little bit more before I have to get another roof, because, if I live another 30 plus years and it's 15 and 15, I'm going to have to get 2 more roofs. Unless I get a big time roof and a shingle or a metal roof instead of a shingle. It's all these big things. So we'll have to see what they recommend and what they do. And I've used this company before, so hopefully they're honest and good and we'll see how it goes too. So I always just like to keep it real and keep it, transparent what's going on here as well. So we got From in less than a month away, which is awesome. We got The Boys on a couple weeks away, which, I believe it's 2 weeks from, I think it's the 8th or it's the 15th. I can't remember when The Boys actually is. But so it's a couple weeks from Wednesday. And, it's pretty cool to think about all the different shows that are on, ready to watch. And it's crazy because I remember when I was growing up, I felt like always waiting for something to watch or things to watch. And then it was always a big time thing in September. The summer was like nothing was on. That was a time I would go to summer camp or soccer camp or go to the movies or go down the shore in New Jersey for a week and, try to waste 3 months because we would go from June to after Labor Day in September would be our, time. So it's like probably 2.5 months. So, trying to figure out what to do and how to just pass the time. And nowadays we're so set up so well that you don't have to leave your house. Like you can get Paramount Plus, Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon, whatever, some sort of streaming service and watch all that stuff. I've always recommended for people because it's so expensive now, all these different shows and all these different streaming services. You're going to spend a lot of money, we have a $100 internet bill just for internet. Then what else can you get for that? We'll have to see. What's free? YouTube. That's free for sure. So definitely use that as a resource. Awesome stuff. Then you got, do you use Amazon? Do you use Hulu? Do you use Netflix? Do you use this? Next thing you know, you're tallying it up. A couple of those, boom, you're talking about $100+ a year or more, probably more. If Netflix is like $20-some a month. So that's super expensive for what it is. But if you can't afford it, try to get deals, try to get a couple week or a couple month trial, save some stuff up, watch it all, and then cancel the trial or something. I recommend if you're trying to save some money here or there. But it's just easy also to just keep something. Just watch it and just have Netflix and Amazon and whatever, or whatever you have. So, and nowadays the streaming service, hopefully they'll work on it and bundle it. And it is. Hopefully you're not being. How much is gas around you? Because we in Florida, I think the average is like $3.98. Like it's just under $4 too. So trying to pay for less than $4 a gallon is pretty crazy. Pretty nice, Negan. It's $74 for internet. Hopefully it's good, reliable, high-speed internet. But I have Spectrum, what it is here on the west coast of Florida and Tampa Bay is Spectrum. So yeah, so Tim says, I had a roof business for years. Awesome. So hopefully you made some good money and you've done on that too. I don't know how much money you make from a business like that. Like if you're a plumber or a carpenter, an HVAC person, and you work for the company, then you get paid hourly and whatever, a salary, whatever on there too. But for a job, so say if you have a roof and it's, a $10,000 roof, and the person and the people show up early, they're working all day, and it takes them 3 days for 24 hours, and how much are you making per hour? I don't know how they break it up. I don't know how they break out the money, but I'll have to see what the estimates come back because I want to get the repair estimate and then I want to have a separate thing. So repair estimate and then also a replacement estimate then to see. And I have some numbers in mind, so hopefully they're less than what I'm thinking to pay. And if not, then I got to shop around. I got to get some quotes. You always got to shop around. It says Arizona gas is $4.19 for premium. Twin turbos need premium gas. So, yeah, if you got a high performance car, high performance truck, or some vehicle on there, I'm a regular guy, you know. I just go in my Toyota Camry. You know, I got the regular gas. I think I paid before a couple weeks ago. It was $3.75, and now it's $3.98. So. Yeah, I know everything's gone up, and it's just part of it all too, you know. So, hey, hard Nixie. So, I mean, it's always good to shop around and what people tell you on there too, because you don't know. You know, I don't know, and you know, I have to figure it out and save my money and see how it goes. Because it's one of those things where it's going to cost money. Having a house is the biggest thing. And I personally would rather own a house. That's why I bought a house, you know, 15 years ago. And then rent a house. And you hear all these different people saying all these different things like, should you rent versus buy? Should you this? And like, I don't know. It depends what you want to do. But if you're going to be somewhere for a long time, if not the rest of your life, I think it's personally best to own a house. I don't think it's good to have renting unless you're short term. If you're only going to be there for a year or probably less than 5 years or so or whatever. I don't know what the actual like statistics say, but you got to weigh what it costs too. So Megan says it's been ridiculously. It's been ridiculous with heat here. 105 degrees the last 5 days. 2 months early, man. Oh man, yeah, I know that's brutal. It's actually been really nice here in Florida. We had a cool down. It was in the 70s. In the morning, it's like today was like 56, so it was actually pretty cool. And it's nice because the air conditioning, anyone has to run it all the time. You know, in Arizona with 105 degrees, I'm sure you have to run the air conditioning all the time. And you just save so much money in your electric bill when you don't have to too. So Adrian says, hi Brian, I'm watching The Walking Dead season 6 episode 16. Oh man, yeah, that was a big episode. So remember guys, so that's the season 6 finale, and it's a big episode. That's a big episode. It's probably one of the most impactful episodes of the Walking Dead series. So if you did a top 10 most impactful episodes in all of the Walking Dead universe, 616 has to be up there. The pilot has to be up there. 616, 701 has to be up there. You know, the finale most likely, so that's 4. And then you know, probably big episodes when characters leave, like Rick's last episode. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I remember when that took over the whole summer. It was like every day people came out with a new theory. Was who did Negan pick? Who did Negan do? Like whatever, you know. That's the Negan-centric episode. So the premiere of Negan made Negan fans, you know, that was huge. Yeah, I don't know, Carol. I don't know if it was 701. I think more of 701 lost viewership after that. Because I think everybody wanted to know the answer of who did Negan pick. And that was a huge thing. So if it was the season finale of that, so I don't know when that premiered in February. So say it was like, you know, 8 episodes, that's 2 months, so like March, April. So it probably ended around April. And then they didn't start filming until the summer. So for like a month or 2 or close to 3, I don't know when they started filming exactly. Everybody was talking about it. I remember because they film in order, most likely. They film different things at different times, but most likely they're filming the episodes in order. And, you know, when 701 filming was going down, you were like, who do I see? Okay, I see Abraham, I see Glenn, I see Rick, I see Darren, I see all these people going around, and people were like trying to get into the woods and get on the property. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was a frenzy. People were seeing all these things and doing all this stuff and posting videos all the time. Like, this one gets, you know, Lucille, and this one gets this, and this one gets, and it's like, oh, who gets picked, blah, 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 and we have the shadows and the trees and the this and the that and the angle, and where's the RV, and I don't see the RV, but we would see the RV. Like, it was crazy. And, you know, you're not going to know and understand it if you went back and watched those videos where I broke, because I really started covering The Walking Dead in the 6th season. I didn't really talk about that show up until then. I remember going to conventions, like we were talking about different stuff and breaking down the episodes and having a breakdown of Alexandria and stuff. And so it was really the channel really switched from different things in season 6. And I still think season 6 is a great season and sets up things. But, you know, the Negan coming to the show and really just controlling everything and making Rick so weak when Rick was our guy, you know, and Negan doing this, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan did a really good job and still does a really good job as Negan. I just still stand that he's a little too skinny to play the part, because Negan is supposed to be this big, oppressive, huge man that takes control of things. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan is charismatic, and he's got the words, and he's got the craziness, and he's got the body language down. It just was the size. You know, if he was the size of the comedian in the Watchmen movie, that would have been a little bit better. Or even The Losers, I think he's in when he's in too. But either way, you know, it's done, and it's Dead City still. So there's been no talk of when we're going to see the Daryl Dixon show and Dead City, but a lot of people have been talking about that too. A lot of people have been talking a lot about the Dutton Ranch, and I saw different reports about them saying that that they already filmed the major parts of the Dutton Ranch last year, and so that should be out sometime this year. But there's been no word from CBS or Paramount or Taylor Sheridan or whatever, and so I don't know too. So Agent says, there will be new tales of The Walking Dead. I don't know. Like, I don't know what they want to do. Like, Scott Gimple has not said anything anywhere, and neither that I've seen is Greg Nicotero or anything. There's been no word about the future of the Walking Dead universe at all, and so we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know of the demand for it. I think it's on its last leg, and we'll have to see, you know, where it ends up. But I just hope the Daryl show is rewarding. Dead City can be the main focal point, but they can kind of pull a Fear the Walking Dead. Like, the first 3 seasons of Dead City can have their moments and their things, and overall be like, it's not that great. And then the 4th season, you can bring in all these people, just like they did with Fear the Walking Dead. So, will they do that? I don't know, but that seems like maybe a good move. So, like, if I wanted to be like a YouTuber that talks about The Walking Dead still, too, like, I don't even know what the other channels are doing, and I could care less, because I got enough other stuff going on. But that's a thing where, like, I heard they're going to do this, and I had this, and I heard that they're going to do that. But that's just my theory that I just came up with right now on March 22nd, 2026, that they could pull a Fear the Walking Dead and totally reboot the show. Dead City, Season 4, brings in all the characters from The Walking Dead, you know? And I don't know. I mean, I feel like Dead City is going to be the last show. I don't know if we're going to get a Season 12 of The Walking Dead and it's going to be on AMC, because AMC owns the rights, so they can do whatever they want. But I'm sure they want the money. I'm sure they want that. But also, do they want the headache? Do they want to be able to have enough money? I don't know. I don't know what their plan is for it. But we'll have to see. I mean, I hope Dead City... I hope my thoughts that I just said about them rebooting it, not total reboot, obviously have Negan and Maggie and, you know, whatever they do for New York City. But it could branch things out and connect the dots of stuff with the Walking Dead universe expanding. But maybe 6 seasons. I could see them doing that if they want to continue that, and then just have the 4, 5, and 6, and then wrap it up on the 6th season. But again, that's just a guess. I have no idea about anything too. But so the Madison. Hopefully, you guys are watching that on Paramount Plus. It's a pretty good show. It relies heavily on Michelle Pfeiffer, who does a good job. Kurt Russell does a good job. And then the other actors do a good job too. Like I like the characters that are like the police officer that works there in Montana. It's pretty he's a pretty likable character. And some of Michelle Pfeiffer's family is okay, but it's basically the story of a fish out of water that they come from New York City, the big city, one of the biggest cities in the world. They go to super rural Montana, where they have these cabins and they have certain things and they have a barn and they have an outhouse. Like, that's crazy that you didn't put in a septic system and plumbing for that. And so it's just seriously like New York amenities to very little to no amenities too. But it works. The show's pretty good. It's much better than Marshals, in my opinion, which I don't even want to call it Marshals. I really want to call it NCIS Montana, because it just feels like a group of people that shouldn't really be working together but are in Montana, and it connects with Yellowstone because of Casey. And if the show didn't rely on the Yellowstone, not even Yellowstone Ranch or anything there too, it's just the story of that, the characters from that. And it's not written by Taylor Sheridan, it's written by somebody else, and you can tell the difference. And you have, the Native Americans, you have Montana, you have Casey Dutton, and so they have to do something big. So episode 3 was last Sunday, episode 4 is this Sunday, and it's already been greenlit for a second season, because it's probably doing whatever, and some people like it. It's enough. It's a show enough people should watch. But Abraham Michael Cudlitz was in episode 3. We were right, and it's something that hopefully we see the character again, and it's just something that I don't know. It just has that feel. Like, go watch previous CBS shows like NCIS and tell me it doesn't feel that way, because I feel that's why I'm watching it. And it's okay, it's something to watch, but it needs to keep watching. It needs to keep interesting or draw us in there, because pretty soon we're going to have so many other things to watch that's going to be on the back burner. And if something's not going to keep my interest, I will go right to The Boys, right to From, right to, even Little People, or Seven Little Johnstons or something I'd rather watch than Marshals at the time. And I'd rather watch A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which, if you watch that or not, Egg, I don't want to give anything away about the character, but Egg is like one of my favorite characters in all of Game of Thrones. He's definitely awesome. And it's only been 4 episodes, so we'll have to see what happens with him. But I just like the character. He's just got a way about him, and the child actor does a great job. And, Sir Duncan the Tall does a good job too. And it's just good. It's just a good connecting show. And hopefully they're going to make a couple more seasons of it, because hopefully the story of Sir Duncan the Tall and Egg and everybody else goes to where it goes too. It's definitely cool. I'm super excited for House of the Dragon. I'm not sure when that comes out. I didn't look it up, but hopefully very soon, and hopefully there's plenty of dragons and everything else in it too. Also, in Fortnite, the latest season of Fortnite just came out, and they have a Game of Thrones things for the shop where you can use V-Bucks and whatever. And I've been saving up my V-Bucks for a long time, and I had to buy Drogon, the dragon, as my glider. So when you're coming out of the battle bus and you're coming down, you're skydiving, you hit your glider, and it's Drogon that comes on, and you don't ride him, you actually stand on him like a couple other surfboards and stuff like that. But I have a frozen dragon, but this is Drogon from Game of Thrones, which is pretty awesome too. So Tim says, my understanding, the second season of the Madison was already filmed by the time the first came out. That's why 3 episodes at a time. Yeah, so I heard the same thing about the second season being filmed. So it kind of makes sense, because if the first season is only 6 episodes, a lot of TV shows are not just filming 6 episodes, especially like Taylor Sheridan shows and Taylor Sheridan stuff. Like, unless it's a limited season, like The Ones Who Live, that was only 6 episodes. So that was considered a limited season and series, evidently. But we'll have to see about the Madison. I have not seen episodes 5 and 6, but I like the show from the beginning. I mean, I understand why they had to do some of the things they did in the show, but it's that Sheridan feel, like when he's involved, and it's probably tough for him. Like, I don't know, like I don't know him at all, but he's got so many things he's juggling now, right? So if you were making, I don't know how involved he is with Marshals, but I feel like not a lot. Like, I know he says he's an executive producer, but I don't know how involved he was with that. Because I don't know if he would let the show be what it is. But again, it's on CBS and now Paramount Plus. So it's different when it's Paramount Plus streaming stuff versus CBS, different restrictions too. And so that's really the first thing I really watched that was kind of dumb. But either way, it is what it is. And so you have the Dutton Ranch, the Madison, Marshals, and then whatever else he's doing. Oh, Landman, Mayor of Kingstown, I guess Tulsa King, like, like Lioness. That's a lot of things to juggle. That's at least 6 or 7 things to be like, okay, here, there, like, is he jumping from meeting to writer's room to this? Like, one ends, he goes right to the next thing. Like, I don't know. After a while, he's like, man, I'm getting too much going on. You can get, bogged down or tied down or just fatigued. So, like, I don't like Lioness. I'm not going to watch that show, but I pretty much like a lot of the other shows. And and it's different for what it is. And 1883 and 1923 and then 1944, and like now think of all the different things he's got going on. And I'd have to do a deep dive and to see what it is. But either way, there's enough other shows, enough other things to watch. Like I said, if whether you're excited for the movies or the shows or the series or whatever, there's a lot of good stuff going on. And I think that's the way it is. The writers are being involved. You can have so much more character development and story with a TV show. But nowadays, you're writing maybe multiple movies, trilogies, expansion stuff, whatever, And some things work, some things don't. But overall, there's enough avenues to try it. Like there's some shows, like there's a wrestling show that was on Stars, and it was called Heels. And it was 2 seasons. It stars Steve Amell. And I don't know the guy's name, but he's been in Vikings and a bunch of other things. You would know him if you saw it. And it's like, that's another show that should be picked up on a streaming service, or another thing that should be picked up. And there's enough areas for it too. And it was funny because I've said it before and I'll say it again. With the success of Top Gun Maverick, I really hope, because with Chuck Norris dying, you never know when these actors are gonna go. But I really hope that we get to see Days of Thunder 2. And Tom Cruise needs to return as Cole Trickle and be involved, because it's like the same thing as Top Gun Maverick. It can be Days of Thunder, whatever. And I really like Days of Thunder, and it sucks because Robert Duvall is gone now, and we waited too long, and now the character's not going to be there, but that could be written into the story. And you could have, people come back, and it would make sense. And I hope they do that sooner rather than later. And it's not a reboot. It's not, something that was a good movie to begin with, like Point Break, that was evidently written by James Cameron. Look it up. He didn't get credit for it, but he said recently, within a month or so ago, that he wrote Point Break. And it's a good movie. And I hope there's new people that are writing stuff like James Cameron, like, whoever. Because we need that. It starts with the writing. That's one thing I've learned since being a writer. Writing is difficult. Putting stuff on the paper is what you go by. The source material is a book or a series or a script or a screenplay or something. I hope that they can do it in a way that just makes sense whenever too. So, what they would probably do is they would make Days of Thunder 2, and that Glenn Powell guy would be in it. He would be the main star of it. Which, after watching The Running Man, he was better in that. And we'll have to see, maybe, but in the right... Like, I would love for him to be like Rowdy Burns' son. An annoying, brash, arrogant, just pain in the butt type of person. And you could have Michael Rooker in it. Tom Cruise in it. Like so many characters be in it. I highly doubt that Tom Cruise's ex-wife would be in it too, so. Yeah, I saw somewhere too about that Val Kilmer thing. I heard about it, that Val Kilmer is going to be in something with AI. But we all know it's not him. Like the crazy, like more and more videos and more things are coming out, especially on like Instagram or Reels or whatever. And you're like, oh, that's got to be fake. But like who cares? Even though there is an area that we want it to be real. Like any show, unless it's like Star Wars or Star Trek or something that's outside of science fiction, that's in the name of fiction, not real. Zombie fiction, some sort of fiction. It's not realistic. It's not real life. But even then, we still like it to be a realistic kind of set of properties and conditions and rules. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, eventually we're going to have AI. Is there already? I don't know. It's outside of my like interests. But I thought I saw somewhere too that there's an AI that there was an AI artist that makes music, and it was like a picture of a thing, and someone said, "Watch out, Taylor Swift," blah blah blah, whatever, and you're like, I don't know, like I don't know if that was real. I don't know what was going on. I didn't click on it or whatever. It's like I don't care because I just like music, but there is something to be said that like a person actually made it. But then I like house music or EDM or stuff like that is basically just sounds put together that a computer program can learn to do and to make it sound like something good. And then at the end of the day, but then it's actors and this, and I'm like, do we even care if an actor is AI or CGI? Like we were watching this morning, we were having breakfast, my wife and I, and we were going through the channels, and we put on Independence Day. And it's the part where the aliens come in, they attack, they blew up New York City, and they blew up different stuff, and they're blowing up these different cities. And it was Vivica A. Fox is in the car, and she's got her son and the dog in the car, and they're like, come on, baby, we gotta go. And there's the explosion coming behind her, and the CGI looks so bad because it was from 1996, and it's going to be bad. It's going to be something there, and it's fine, but it's something that we're like, okay, it's come a long way. That's 1996. So if that's I think it was, I don't know if it was a summer movie or whatever. So it's coming up on 26 years plus 4. So that's 30 years ago. 30 years ago, CGI and actors and storytelling and probably AI has come leaps and bounds on there too. So yeah, so so there is something like that too. Hard Mexi says the stupid AI actress and her new song. Yeah, see, that's a thing, right? And so I'm like, I don't care. I care about things like, I don't really listen to a lot of music, but at the gym, I have my same music on Pandora that I listen to. As I have like playlists and certain, energetic house EDM, like high energy music for when we're working out. And then when I'm in my car, I listen to mostly talk radio of sports or something. But if I do, I go through my channels, and they're usually like country songs or this song or whatever, or rock and roll or whatever. It just depends on what it is. But like, I don't know, one day is just going to be all fake, because if it's a program doing it, you don't have to pay the artist. And the royalties go to the maker of that too. And it just seems like everything they're going towards is like getting rid of people. Like, we don't want to pay people for goods and services for their work, Now, I had back in the day, I used to love the Rocky soundtrack. And so Rocky 4 is actually a really good soundtrack. And I used to have that in my basement in New Jersey when I had like a weight bench and stuff there, and a heavy bag that I still have, weight bench and different attachments in, and be working out. And but Eye of the Tiger is definitely on there too. It's the Eye of the Tiger. Yeah, it's just good. It's just a good, it's so funny. Eye of the Tiger and the song from Karate Kid, you're the best around, no one's gonna ever keep you down. Those two songs are from pretty big movies. And I believe Eye of the Tiger was going to be used in Karate Kid, but it ended up being in Rocky 3. And so it was kind of funny to think about it, as how it could have been, because some of the lyrics and stuff, I don't know, but they could have switched those songs in from Karate Kid and Rocky 3. So it's interesting, where stuff goes, and but I don't know. I don't know where stuff is going for the future, but that's why you got to take care of your money, get your education, have your skills, have a trade that you can't be replaced. Because unless we get like universal basic income, where it's enough money to pay our bills, but then we can't go on vacations, we can't do this and whatever, I'm like, that's why I'm trying to invest heavily. And I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I just feel like taking control of your finances and taking control of everything is part of a balanced life. You have to have, in my opinion, you got to have, the artistic side, the physical side, the mental side, the financial side, the family side, the connected side, people, whatever it is. And you got to have all those pieces for the best life that we can have. You got to be taking care of your health and your wealth, mental health, physical health, mind, body, and soul, Yeah, so it's definitely something that I'm excited to see where the future holds for the shows and movies that are coming out. I'm really excited for From Season 4, man. That's got to be rewarding. What's up with the Man in Yellow? What's up with the stories? What's happening with this? And I feel like we've been waiting for a long time for it. And, we're spoiled now. We really are. We want all of our shows. We want them now. If you could just film all 5 seasons at once, you could do that and just wrap it up, and that would be great. I wonder if that's going to eventually be that way, too. You're like, all right, you have a 3-season deal. I want you to film all 3 seasons in a year, and then have them out in a couple months, and then a couple months off, and then a couple months, because if they wait too long, the interest is gone, right? I don't know if Game of Thrones and stuff's going to be that way, but House of the Dragon has been forever since season 2. And so I'll give it a chance and I'll wait on it. I have no problem doing that, especially if something's good. You don't want to rush it. I told you before, that's what happened with my book series. My first so many books of Fight for Us were rushed, and the edit wasn't there because I was super excited to to get it out there and share it with everybody. And people enjoyed it. But the edit wasn't good, and the punctuation was this and whatever, and then people were like this, and people were comparing it to, it was a whole big thing. But that's one thing I totally would have done again, is I would have taken my time for the first book, and then take my time for the next books. But I was trying to keep the interest going, try to keep it going on there as well. So now I'm taking my time, and I'm on chapter 10 of Fight for Us 2, the second book, and I'm really trying to get that taken care of for the story. It's coming along, though, for sure. Tim says, Q&A, did the From trailer seem longer than most, Bri? I don't know. I mean, some trailers are, so you have like usually a teaser and then a trailer. So a teaser is going to be short, trailer is going to be, good. Some trailers used to be long. The Walking Dead ones, they used to be pretty long. I remember some of the Walking Dead trailers been close to like 4 minutes almost. Like back in the day, if you went back and watched seasons 4, 5, 6, whatever, like they could be up to like 3-4 minutes, close to that. And it was a big deal. July, Comic-Con, we got the release of the trailer, guys. And that used to be such a big deal. And I really wonder if that's what they're waiting with for Avengers Doomsday. That's when the trailer is going to come out, is July. Because that movie doesn't come out to December 18th. And I wonder if they just want to just push Spider-Man for all this time until July, because that comes out end of July. And get the other projects going. Daredevil Season 2. X-Men 97 Season 2. Which I'm really excited about that. I'm a big X-Men fan, so I like where that's going. And it's cool that Ross Marquand is the voice of Professor Xavier, so Professor X Charles Xavier. But yeah, I don't see about things going with the Madison. Is worth watching. Marshals, you could take it or leave it. At this point, I'm like, I don't know if I can really recommend Marshals. And either way, it's something to watch on CBS, so why not, right? Watch Survivor, watch Tracker, watch Marshals, watch whatever else comes on CBS anymore. I don't even know those other shows. But it's tough. When you get magic in a bottle, like Yellowstone, it's tough to do, to live up to it too as well. Yeah, Cyberco says Doomsday trailer would make sense for Disney in front of Mando and Grogu. For sure. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to push that where the trailer could be there, that could be the announcement that you have to go watch that movie to go watch the trailer. Which, yeah, I could see Disney doing that. I think it was just recently that Disney bought the rights. I don't know if it was like 7 years ago. I forget how many years ago it is now when they finalized the deal for Marvel and Fox. All those things came together. It was like, right around this time, so many years ago. And it was like, I don't even know. I can't remember the number. It was like $71 billion or something ridiculous. So I wonder if they're actually making their money back in 7 years. I mean, Grogu, The Mandalorian was probably the best thing in Star Wars. Probably since Rogue One. And Ahsoka was okay and this and that. But that's not even... that's not even the Marvel deal. That's the Star Wars deal. But that's part of the spending that Disney did. Now they own so much too. So Tim says, off subject right now, but I mentioned the pit got political last episode. Yeah, I know. I didn't see it. Like, I haven't seen any of them. And I know that that's what they were saying, that one of the upcoming episodes. What episode is it now? Is it 13 episodes? 16 episodes? I'll have to check how many episodes season 2 of The Pit is going to be and what episode they're on now. Because again, I want to finish. I want season 2 to finish before I start it because I want all episodes available. And I kind of like that the Madison, like what Netflix does. So Netflix does it. They post all their episodes right away, but then they would, like with Stranger Things, they waited and they posted some, and then this, and then 2 weeks later some more, and then some more. But the Madison posted 3 episodes last Saturday and yesterday the final 3 episodes. And I like it when shows post, like I think Daredevil is going to post the first 2 episodes on Tuesday on Disney Plus, which is good because you can watch the first 2 episodes, and to me, that's 2 days before the next one. And like I said, I'm a person who like to stretch it out. And is it? I don't know which political route they've gone, but unless it's in like really bad taste or really stupid, it doesn't really bother me because it's a part of life. Right? And I think that's the biggest problem in society today is that we can't handle other people having an opinion or a view or a side that's opposed to us. That's the opposite of how we are. Now, of course, if they're doing something or saying something or doing something that's totally against us or hurting us or you or hurting that, then I could get it. But at the end of the day, you're going to be one side, especially with politics. You're going to be on Republican, Democrat. I guess there's 3, right? Republican, Democrat, or don't care. So it's like, and that's your choice, and that's the freedom of choice. Like once we start to lose that, then we're in severe trouble. Like we've already lost some freedoms, and that's terrible, in my opinion, obviously. But ultimately, I want people to have a much ability to do whatever they want to do as long as they don't hurt themselves or others. That's whatever, man. Like I don't care. I'm not a person that's going to be, because what if I was put in that shoes, or if I was them, or if I had that view, or I was there too, would I want to be prosecuted or attacked or whatever? No. Like I always loved the idea of treat others the way you want to be treated. And I saw somewhere, I don't know if I took a screenshot of it or not. Probably not, because that would make too much sense. Yeah, no, I posted it. I saved it somewhere on my computer, I think. But it was a picture of like a monk. And there was a saying that said like about peace. Like true peace is not it's something along the lines of like, being left alone, not being searched for, not searching for others, and being like comfortable in yourself, like whatever it was. It was one of those things where you're like just being yourself and alone and away from other people, kind of a thing too. Like it was kind of a way of like, that's how I interpreted it, as like not worrying about other things and other people and other stuff and so much around us was like the most inner peace. And I'd have to find what it was exactly. But I was like, that's kind of true. Like once you start worrying about other people, what they have, what they don't, it's kind of it too. So no, it's fine, Tim. It's not a big deal. It's fine. Like like I said, I'm fine with. They always say you can't talk about religion and politics. That's what they do, and I know that for a fact because I saw people yelling at each other and verbally attacking each other because one was this and one was that, and you're like, I'm staying out of this. This is crazy. But and I tell for like topics like this, yeah, it's not that type of channel or topic of the live stream, but it's okay. Like it's not a big deal. You didn't say which side you are and this is that or two. You just said about the pit being political. And it probably rubbed people the wrong way on the show, and also probably rubbed people the wrong way if they were opposed to whatever topic they were talking about, because that's usually people feel very strong about it too. And that's all right. People feel very strong about the way they are too. I remember people used to feel so strong about The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead too. Like if I remotely said anything bad about Fear the Walking Dead, people used to get so bent out of shape and so mad. And I'm like, well, that's my opinion and that's my view. That this show does not live up to The Walking Dead name and the hype and the this and the that, and it sucked, and it was like a downer, and it was on there. And they're like, no, you should support it. You should this, you should that. Well, I should be whoever I want to be, because I'm not telling you I'm right or wrong. It's just my view and my side. And that's what it came across. But if they were like, no, you should support it, and I'm like, no, I'm going to be real. I'm not fake. I'm definitely not ever going to be fake for that. I want to be real and as much as I can for that too, So, yeah. Of course, Tim. I mean, the older we get, the more dug in and not stubborn. And that's the thing that we have to live in our little bubble. And not to say you are, Tim. We're just saying is we can kind of go back to what's made us successful. And what we rely on is who we are too. And I see that with my dad all the time, is he's kind of that way. But he's also learning a little bit that he's got to give in a little bit and not be so, cold-hearted sometimes, or so stubborn and so, just focused on that he's right. We're not always right. We need help, we need assistance, and we need, to be directed and just not knocked down a peg, but also helped a little bit, and that's okay. It's okay to need help, but some people don't want to have that too. But that's another stream for another day. But all right, guys, so check out excuse me, the Madison on Paramount Plus. Definitely check out Marshals too if you haven't. And that is Seven Kingdoms and any other shows or movies that you're under too. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about all the other shows and more. We'll probably be talking about the Madison again because I will finish the last 2 episodes of season 1. Any other news, shows, anything that stuff too. Thank you guys. Enjoy the basketball games today. Any other shows, movies you're going to watch, I'll be back next Sunday. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Whatever they and it are, you can achieve them and it. Keep working hard. I'll see you guys and see ya.